Hey guys, Rocambasco here, and welcome to my Dead Space walkthrough. Get it? It's a play on words. But seriously, this challenge was no walk in the park. Anytime I do a gaming challenge, I try to speedrun that shiz as quickly as possible. But today, I slow things down, take my time, and just smell the flowers. Or in this case, smell the scent of fear from not being able to run for my damn life. And how do I get past this part? What about this one? What about the regenerating boy? Well, stick around to find out. The game begins in the depths of space. You may think I came all this way on this repair mission to fix the Ishimura, but that wasn't the real reason I was here. The real reason I came is because my girlfriend was ignoring my texts and calls, so I was gonna catch her cheating on me. The game told me how to run, but this information fell on deaf ears. I'm not the one who needed to be running. The person who really needed to be running was my girlfriend when I found her with another man. And not even 2 seconds into the challenge, I already failed. Running in dead space is such a habit to me that it's just like breathing. So I quit the game, changed my running key to something I wouldn't be tempted to press, and I resumed my mission of catching my unfaithful girlfriend. But after taking a look at the ship's damage report and that guy getting butchered by a naked man demon, I realized I may have been walking to conclusions about my girlfriend's infidelity. But conclusions weren't the only thing I was walking to, cause now the necromorphs were coming after me and I had to walk for my goddamn life. Unfortunately, I got stabbed not once, but twice on the way to the elevator. I may not have made it out of there in one piece, but at least I didn't run. I acquired my plasma cutter, took out my first necromorph, and here I came to my first challenge of the challenge, using the Tram repair station. The arm mechanism comes out and you have to slow it down and press the button in time. I thought I was screwed here, but ha! Luckily, even with my unupgraded stasis, I was able to slow down the arm and walk to the console and fix the tram on my first try. Easy! Let's be real, that's not even a real achievement. I'm just milking content here, okay? All in all, things were going smooth for me right now. I was able to handle the horrors that greeted me as I normally would, just at half the speed. You guys want to hear about the time I became a hero? So there I was, taking a stroll down Murder Lane, when I heard a strange sound. What is that? I thought to myself, and that's when I saw a man having a seizure. I rushed over to him as fast as I could, and I saved his life. His name was Desmond, and he wanted to repay me, but knowing he'd be going home safely to his wife and kids tonight was payment enough for me. I acquired the data board, took out some more necromorphs, and when I was going back to the control room, I saw something. Hello? Must have been my imagination. Huh? Hello? Hello? Desmond, is that you? From here, the rest of the chapter is a piece of cake, and with that, I made it to chapter 2. When I got off the tram, I met a very kind couple who gave me a friggin' kinesis module. Kindness like this was hard to come by in these spooky times, so I let her and her husband ride the tram station
free of charge.
And I even gave her husband a med kit. I'm so nice, guys. Go down to the comments right now and comment how kind I am on a scale of 1 to 10. Anyway, I came to the realization that most fights in this game aren't really affected that much by running, or at least in a negative way that is. See, the way I usually handle combat in this game is by running into a corner and defeating the enemies as they come to me, but since I can't pull the little bitch strategy, I had to just stand my ground like a man. When it came to power nodes, I was lost. Did I upgrade the damage of my guns, or upgrade stasis to slow my foes for longer? I didn't do health because I was too good to take damage, but what about air? I mean, I've never wasted a single node on the air upgrade in Dead Space ever. It's air. It should be free. That's why in the 14 years I've been playing this game, I've never got the maxed out achievement, because I don't believe in upgrading my air for the principle of it. Except for when I buy Doritos, because at least the air comes with some chips. But I may have to go against my own moral code for the sake of this challenge. There's a lot of times in this game where I'm in space and I need to rely on my suit to breathe, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get through any of the space parts with just 70 seconds of air at walking speed. So I decided to save my power nodes at least until this part in chapter 4. But we'll see when we get there. And then there's the zero gravity parts, but since Isaac is just jumping and I still have the option of walking in these parts, it's not a fail. So in no time, I defeated the captain and his pet, took his rig, returned to the tram station, and my new friends were gone. And they didn't even take my gift with them. How rude. Fuck me, I guess. And now comes my least favorite chapter in the game, Chapter 3. And oh boy, we get greeted by the spinny thing. What does it do? Beats me. All you need to know is it disassembles my body at the slightest touch, and I need to get to the lift on the other side of it without running. Not to mention, there's no air at this part, so I was on a timer. At first I tried taking a left and going the short way, but the gap that should be in the wall is filled with grossness, and I end up exploding. And by the way, stasis doesn't slow it down at all. So then I tried going right. I could walk to the first gap no problem, but the second and third one is where the trouble comes. The distance between these gaps is just a little bit longer than the previous one, so I can't walk to the gap in time. However, you walk just a little bit faster when you aim down sights than you do just walking normally, so I was actually able to just make it by aim walking. At the third gap, there's a lurker that comes and blocks my path, making me game over. But if you lure him out, you can deal with him before you leave, and before I knew it, I made it out of there in one piece. Chapter 4. I was finally face to face with this part, but first things first, it was brute time, baby. Before I came here, I used my last bit of stasis that I had on a necromorph at the end of Chapter 3, so I had none left. And sure, I could have bought a stasis pack, but I was too cheap for that. Why would I use a stasis pack when I could find a stasis recharge station?
Free of charge.
I was not prepared for the brute fight, but I walked there in 5th gear like a man ready to face my death. But unfortunately, I can't run to dodge his charges, so it wasn't long before he tackled me to death and gave me that giraffe treatment. Life lesson number 58. Being a cheap bastard may save you some pocket change, but it won't save your life. The second time around, I realized that the brute is easy. I didn't need stasis at all. I could just walk around his charges like a cool guy, and then I'd very slowly walk behind him when he goes into that ball of protection and just blast his feet off. Pathetic. Brute? More like too easy to shoot. Are you guys ready for the asteroid shower space part? There's 2 issues here, my air and making it to the other side without becoming mincemeat. At first I tried walking normal style, but I got shredded like I was a block of cheese, and then I bought 3 guns to use their alternate fire modes to see if I would have invincibility frames to survive the death shower, but each and every one failed me. However, I realized something in the elevator. The first thing I realized is you actually walk faster sideways than you do front ways. The second thing I realized is I'm claustrophobic. Get me out of here. But seriously, he takes some big ass strides walking sideways, so I was able to reach every piece of cover in the nick of time. And as I made my way to the asteroid defense platform doors, I only had to use 2 air cans on the way there. I know I said I don't pay for air because of the principle of it, and I mean what I say. So up until this point, I saved every can of air I found in the previous chapters by storing them in the safe. One in a locker in Chapter 2, another one on the ground in Chapter 3, and the last one was actually just before this part. I grabbed the other 2 that I had stored before I came here just in case I needed them, which I did. I did the asteroid defense part, and on the way back, since I didn't have to worry about asteroids, I could just walk back, take out a few lurkers, and I had to use my last air can, which was just enough to reach the doors safely. I decided that my arsenal for the rest of the game would be the plasma cutter, the force gun, and I kept the contact beam just so I could sell the ammo, cause at 1,000 credits a pop, that's just too good of an opportunity to pass up. Just like the opportunity to smell my girlfriend's armpits. Now, here comes the part you guys been waiting for. The part you've been thirsting for. The part where the regenerator necromorph chases me to the ends of the earth. He's fast. He's cunning. He's handsome. And good lord, he can't be killed. Wait a second. That's me I'm describing. The regenerating necro boy is slow, dumb.
Where do you think you're going?
Ugly as fuck. And good lord, he can't be killed. Luckily, I can outwalk him, and any rooms that I get stuck in with him where I gotta wait for the doors to open is easy. All you gotta do is hit him with stasis, take off his leg, and just keep dousing him with stasis until it's time to pack your bags and check out of this hotel of horror. And even when the air gets decompressed into space, it's not an issue. It's not even a minor inconvenience because there's an O2 tank right here, and the button to restore power and air to the deck is just over yonder, so no issues here. Even when I get to the final part of the chapter where I have the showdown with the regenerating boy, I just lured him into the freezer, hit him with stasis, ignored the other necromorphs for the most part, hit him with stasis again, and then froze him in a matter of seconds. Easy work. And now, it was time for chapter 6. I tried to have a fun time with some corpses, but the limbs didn't fly off. They just despawned like a bunch of losers. And what is this? Hammond manspreading? Fuck me! By the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, click that like button. If you don't click it, then you're lowering your chances of getting a goodnight kiss from Rocambasco from 1% to 0%. And if you hit that dislike button, then you raise your chances of getting an ass whooping by Rocambasco by 10 billion%. And leave a comment too. As far as chapter 6 goes, there isn't much happening here. There's that part with the flame vents, which I was surprisingly able to get through with just walking. And did you guys know that these vents don't actually insta-kill you? I always thought they did, but nope. And fighting the Leviathan was easy as ever. It's the same old fight whether you're running or walking. In chapter 7, I finally found my girlfriend, but after watching the interaction between Isaac and Nicole, I understand why she was ignoring his texts and calls and possibly cheating on him. She talks to him, tells him that she loves him, that she misses him, that she want to give him all that sloppy toppy, and the whole time, he just stares at her like this. What are you, a corpse? But anyways, the defense part is pretty self-explanatory. The only thing worth noting in this chapter is putting the beacon on the asteroid, but it's super simple. As long as I jump as close as possible to where the spinny things can't reach me, then it's really easy to plant the beacon. I also have to destroy the tethers, and once again I'm in space, so I have no air, but it's really easy to just go back inside the ship to catch my breath. I had no issues with chapter 8 and 9, but chapter 10 is where shit went down. My save file became corrupt and I couldn't resume the challenge. Every time I loaded my save, the game would just crash. My theory is that the game became sentient, realized I was doing a no running challenge, and crashed constantly to prevent me from failing. Stop doing that, idiot! It's allowed to run that way! But when I uninstalled the game and reloaded the save, it fixed the problem, but the 2 hours of my life it wasted was unacceptable. Someone was gonna pay. So I interrogated the council. Alright, which one of you fucks gave my computer sentience? If no one speaks up, she loses limbs. So which one of you was it, huh?
Not talking, eh?
Still nothing? Fine, I'll send you all to Sovngarde. After that, I accidentally stole an innocent man's leg, but I redeemed myself by giving it back to him. And now, it was the return of the Invincible Boy Necromorph. Once again, I pulled the freeze him with stasis then blow his leg off strategy, but this time he was a little more tricky than he was in chapter 5, because of the other Necromorphs, and the Force Gun wasn't the best thing to use against him. I just had to hold out until Kendra unlocked the door, and once she did, I did the old man strategy and walked out of there. Luckily, the next time I encounter him in this chapter would be the last. What I had to do was get him in this spot and then make my way over to the controls to activate the shuttle booster, melt him down into a power node, and then he would become a part of my suit forever. Luckily, my stasis module was fully upgraded right now, so even though the adrenaline necromorphs were destroying me as I was trying to rush over to the controls as fast as possible, I was able to walk over to the console in time and turn him into a power node. Next was chapter 11. Nothing important happened here that I can think of, but can I just say, Kine makes the cutest dashboard ornament. He has many different poses, and I'd put him in my own car if I could. I found Nicole in the flight deck, and this interaction went the same as our last interaction in chapter 7. Oh my god, Isaac, I'm so glad to see you safe and sound. Cool level 5 suit, by the way. I love you. And now, we were in the final chapter. I played pin the limb on the corpse, and then of course, transporting the marker was the same as any other fight in the game. I had a hard time when it came to the tentacle part because necromorphs keep spawning here. At first, I tried just walking past everything like a cool guy, but after getting completely owned by everything here, I realized the best course of action was to move the marker up as far as possible from the starting point, take out the first tentacle, slip past the last 2 tentacles, which I still get demolished by the second tentacle, but luckily I had a lot of health and the third tentacle can't reach me when I'm at the control panel. I took out enough necromorphs to have a breather, and then I moved the marker successfully. Kendra started talking shit about my girlfriend, so I exploded a head on her, but turns out she was right. Kendra sent me a video of her doing heroin. Nicole is a crackhead. And now it was time for the final boss. Before the fight started, I sold everything in my safe and my force gun, which got me at least 500,000 credits. So I fully upgraded the contact beam, and then I bought a flamethrower and fully upgraded that too, just for the fun of it, and I began the boss fight. He's so easy, you can just walk to avoid his attacks. So in no time, I beat him, Isaac ran in the cutscene, I escaped the planet, and my girlfriend fully embraced becoming a crackhead. And with that, I beat the game without running.